But you know what? I feel like if it's not something that you're passionate about or something that doesn't come naturally, like I love gifting, so this makes sense.
This makes
you
sense.
are really good at talking.
I'm very good at talking.
And doing accents.
And doing different
so
accents.
You would be a
so
great
we could
radio
kind of
personality.
change the accents if you want there through the interview. Kind of like make people nuts.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
No, but I think like, I tried having the own business. I tried actually having multiple businesses. They require a lot of work, and I'm not lazy or anything, but if it's not something that I enjoy doing, I kind of tend to kind of walk away from it. And I got to the point where my business was stressing me out. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really enjoying, and things were just like, and kind of like, like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I think you got to that when you were in the hospital too. Like,
I literally couldn't. So.
Yeah, I know. But then you got out of it, and then Smokers Digest didn't like walk away and kind of come back. No, it just stayed there all that time.
Yeah, and I told my customers and everything too. Like transparency is important for me because I don't want you to. Yeah, and I am like for personal reasons and medical and all that other jazz. And I got people who emailed me afterwards and it's like, because they still don't have a face to it. I feel like this will be the first time people will see who owns Smokers Digest.
Nice.
So they still haven't faced. So they're just like, take your time. We appreciate what you've done. Like, yada, yada, yada. Hope when you come back strong.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like a lot of emails about.
Was there a lot of support from that community, like your customer community? Was there like a lot of like, not the emotional support obviously was there. They sent, they're making sure you're okay. But do you feel like when you came back, people were like, okay, I'm buying Smokers Digest. I'm buying her. I feel for that person. Or did you feel that? I don't know.
To be honest with you, I can't tell that information.
You can't tell. Because it was just mainly emails that people were just sending you to make sure you're okay. You weren't getting like phone calls.
No. Because at the time there's no company line. So who are you gonna call?
Yeah.
Unless you actually know who owns the business.
Yeah.
So I'd get emails and then like people inbox in or DM whatever social media platform there was out that I was on. But yeah, of course, like there are naysayers as well too.
Yeah.
And then, not taking those things personal. I know when it's like your own business, you're more than likely, you're going to take things personal because it's your baby, right?
Yeah, of course.
Especially if you're like the sole proprietor of it.
Yeah.
What you put out is representative of like what your brand is and who you are. So you're going to take that personal. But because of everything that happened, like, let me tell you, like, things would, like, bounce off of me and bounce right back off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I can't, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't let it, like, get the best of me because I already know what that could do to me. Right?
So wait, get the best of you, like getting the, do you mean getting the worst of you or
like,
getting the best of you?
Sorry. I didn't want it to get the worst of me again.
Okay.
If it was, like, negative feedback or people being like, oh my God, da-da-da-da-da, or you're going to get negative.
Yeah.
Feedback regardless.
You're dealing I think in any consumer space in general.
Anything related to customers, you're not going to be able to please everybody, period.
There's no way.
That's in life. I remember like one time I had done like this theme where like it was supposed to be like this comfy cozy like month.
Yeah.
And so like I had like a coffee mug that was a bong.
Okay.
It was in the shape of a coffee mug, but like you could smoke from it on the side handles and all jazz.
Yeah.
I also had the cannabis socks in there, like that had the marijuana leaf on it.
Yeah.
I had the toilet paper
that was
that was imprinted with like cannabis leaves.
Oh,
right?
Nice. Okay. How is that? Like,
exactly?
Do you people wear it? Doesn't
everything went well until people open up the tissue. And some people would be like, I got one email in particular where a customer was like, oh my God, this box is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like outright.
Yeah.
Like it's like, how dare you put toilet tissue inside of this box, inside of a cannabis box? But like it's following like a comfy cozy theme. Right?
Yeah.
And it had cannabis imprinted in the roll of tissue.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like it was a novelty box. It was like in the least expensive box.
But did you communicate that like as part of your branding that this was going to be?
So I emailed that person back. You know, I contact them and told them what was meant to be like the theme of it. Like I even have content cards, and on the content cards it tells you know what I mean. But again, I get like people's reception, so I explained what it was, and I told them, I gave them examples of like what Susie and Sally's feedback was and what John and Peter's feedback was. And when they were like, and when they read that, they emailed me back and they're like, oh, I get it.
Oh, okay.
You know what
So
I mean?
yeah,
It's like
and
I
that's
just
how.
thought you were being like just throwing stuff in there.
Yeah.
But I get that it's meant to be comfy cozy and like this is part of it. I get it now, and I'm sorry, but yeah, some people just you just talk to them just like how like you talk to
Yeah.
any other
So,
human.
and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of like where it comes to, like, we're in 2020. I mean, the last maybe 5 years, we've had a shift in technology, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are not communicating as they want. No, actually, a lot of more people are purely communicating.
Yeah.
Actually, like, you can communicate to your customers as if you are another customer, really. If you think about it, like,
Oh, I see
you're
what you mean.
asking,
Yeah.
you're talking to them in a normal tone.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like dear customer. There's no dear customer. There's no formal way of communication, because at the end of the day, you are your own shop.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to deal with people the same touch. You're not a big corporation where you got, like, all kinds of instances happening.
Yeah.
And you might have one or two. And I don't think it's easy to please everybody. And I think especially when you're picked, well, they're not picked, but when you like specifically sell a product to customers, I think consumer behavior plays a lot with it. And then, especially with your line of business, someone makes a better pipe, someone will just go there. And maybe the idea of the box is like the good idea of it. The whole subscription box is good, but I think also, like, it's good if it's a reasonable price. That's, like, from my perspective, that would be something that.
So that honestly, most of my challenges came from the audience from the least expensive box.
Okay.
Like that's where I was getting most of the hiccups because, if you're paying $49.99 a month and you're being told that the value is $60, people want the value to be 60 bucks.
Yeah.
Like they want when they go into like the head shop, which is the cannabis accessory like name for the shop.
Yeah.
When they go into the head shop, they want to be able to be like, okay, I got this item in my box, and I see that this person is selling it, and it comes up to $60, right? Which is fair. Like I get it. But sometimes, somebody's perception of what the value is different.
Yes.
Right. Obviously.
Yeah.
And so if they're not literally ticking and tying what the retail price is, they're going off of what they base the value is.
Yeah.
And that could be completely different. And then that's where
does
you
it
have
like
hiccups.
backfire somehow, like from them? Like it backfires. And then when you try to explain yourself, are people more understanding?
But that's part of the customer service too, right?
Yeah.
Because another feature that I had with the website is after you get your box, after like 7 business days, because it should allow for shipping if it's in Canada, and about like 10 to 14 days if it's going to the US, it would immediately trigger out a feedback email from you.
Okay.
So then you could rate how you felt about the box. What item did you like the most, and what item did you dislike the most?
And then you kind of take that data and you kind of like,
because it was able,
improve.
Right.
Because you're able to build something.
To personalize the next box.
Oh, okay.
Right? So like if you got like a 3-month subscription, 2 months would be like based off of products that I curated for you and that I think should be great hitters.
Yep.
And then the third box should at least be something that you said that you like, and then it should find a affordable way to put that in there for you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why getting that feedback was so important, because yes, it's a gift from Smokers Digest, but it's also a personal item too that you are going to have on your shelf that you should be able to love, right?
Yes.
So I still want to have a personalized aspect to it.
And do customers want, like, do you get like one person, like you get, let's say, a 3-month subscription, and then you get customers, oh, well, I like that a little more. Can you have that in the next box and kind of replace? You can do that.
I had this one. Oh my gosh, she's such a loyal customer.
Okay.
This lady bought 2 subscription box plans from me at the same time, both of which were 6 months long.
Yeah.
And then she would buy from the shop because I would sell like one-off items at like the regular MSRP, the regular retail price.
Yeah.
And she would buy stuff, especially like around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Oh, she would stock up. Oh my goodness, this lady, she just kept a smile on my face. And honestly, like whenever I wanted to test out, because I had a little focus group too.
Yeah.
Whenever I wanted to test out something that I wanted to bring to my customers well in advance, like she was a part of that focus group.
Okay.
And I would, like, hey, let me know what your feedback is on this X, Y, and Z. I value your input as well.
Yeah.
So not only is she value to me, but I'm value to her.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
And that's very important. Like your most valuable customers are the ones that will bring you your revenue.
Yeah.
I believe that's my and you know, giving and I think everybody, all of us, we do the same thing. Like you know, customer service is really important, regardless of what job you have. If you're dealing with an external person that kind of, you know, are selling the services of the company that you work for, or vice versa. It's pretty cool. I mean, this is really good insight. I mean, you've gone through a lot,
a lot,
and it's kind of goes unseen. That's the thing. What I find is, as you know, you know, if you make it to the Olympics, everybody's gonna look at you
with the trophy
at the Olympics, at that gold medal or silver or bronze, right? But nobody knows that it takes like $2 million worth of training in order to qualify.
In the cold, in the heat, all this other
exactly.
jazz.
And you go through so much. Like what was the last Olympics? Was it 2019, I think? I don't remember. The last Olympics, I was in Calgary.
Yeah.
Prior to that Olympics. And I saw a national team for another country train for the Winter Olympics. That was like 3 years.
Oh yeah, they train well in advance because it's only once every 4 years.
Scientists, it's every 4 years. So it was like 2 years or 3 years before. I think it was the Winter Olympics, actually, just to be clear. And I saw this other national team. They were just training in Calgary in that winter, preparing for that event, which is 3 years later.
Yeah.
And you move these people from another country to here. They were training, and they were going through excessive. This is an Olympic team.
Yeah.
This is not like house league. It's not like an underground league. It's not a local community
If you
league.
stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So you got to train well in advance. Because then you have like, I think they have like meets and stuff, like little small meets up into the point of the big point to qualify and all that.
They qualify once they qualify.
So you get to see your competition. So yeah, you gotta train. You gotta train the body up for these big to-dos. You can't just wake up and be like, I'm going to the Olympics today.
No.
To run against Usain Bolt.
And just like business. Like business. You know, you're constantly changing. You're constantly improving. You see your failures. You see your success.
And I feel like the failures are part of like the Olympic training.
Of course it is.
To shape you
up.
Of
course. Yeah, because as much as it hurts to fail, as much as it like devastates to fail. I don't even want to call them
failures, because to me, a failure, because a failure is like you get hit with a problem and you let that problem keep you down.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, like a little bump in the road, a little problem, as you may call it, a little challenge, is what people would consider a failure. But you learn from it and you keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get back up. You get knocked down,
but you
don't stay down though. Like take whatever time you need to recuperate and like, you know, heal that wound. Yeah. But like get up and keep going.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep going is really important. And as hard it is it is.
It was hard.
It's not easy to get up. It's not easy to just get up and kind of like,
because you second guess yourself. You're like, am I worthy? Am I capable? Am I delusional? Like, did I bit off more than I can chew? Like, should I have even been in this space in the first place? Like, girl, who do you think you are?
How many times did you question yourself?
Oh my God. On the drive here and all, I'm like, I don't think I'm the person for this interview. Plus, I'm like, I'm so used to being behind the scene. Like, I'm not used to being like the face of my own brands, you know?
Yeah. So, but I mean, this is great because then you kind of give okay, so if we look at younger Tafarrah and we go from younger to now, do you have more of a clear vision of what you want versus where it was kind of gray in the past and foggy and kind of like not sure how we're going to get this? Or
you know what? I went to business school on purpose.
Okay.
I always liked business. Like my sister was telling me the other day, she was reminding me, she's like, when I was young, because I was really big into magic tricks when I was younger.
Okay.
Like, imagine that Will Smith show. The Fresh Prince of Will Smith, the Will Smith joke, where he took Uncle Phil's $20 and he's like, now you see it, now you don't. Like, that was me as a kid.
Okay.
I love magic tricks and I love people money.
Yeah.
So I remember like I Scholastic, which was like the kid version of like buying books and stuff and games. Yeah. Like a little Avon brochure, but for kids.
Yeah.
There was this magic kit on Scholastic and I was like, Daddy, can I have it? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Like he believes in like all our dreams.
Yes.
And my mommy as well. Like I have a great support system in my family.
It's always family's the main reason why we kind of like
we get the cojones to do it.
And we kind of move up. And, and I think it's important to kind of have that balance where your family supports you a lot, because it will be more challenging going into something like this. and there's no family support. You know what I mean? It's a backbone.
But going back to the comment my sister made, she was like, yeah, ever since you were small, she's like, do you remember when you used to when you finally learned all your magic tricks or whatever, you went around to all the neighbors and you were like knocking on their doors and inviting their kids to come to our backyard, and I charged kids at the gate to come and watch my magic show.
Like what was it,
food and drinks and everything. I think it was like $1 or something like that. Yeah, she was like, girl, you've been hustling people for a long time. But yeah,
but that was good. Was it? Did you make money from the magic show? You did.
I think it was like $25. It wasn't that many kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah. But it's good. It's like you earned your living, and it was
and some of the parents were like so enthused by what I had going on. They said like their kid with $5 or something like that.
Nice.
So yeah, it was nice. It felt good to have be 11 and have that much money in your hand.
Yeah, of course. And then especially as a kid, making money was like even $6. Like getting to the movies.
Do you know how many candies that is?
Exciting thing. Like I remember as a child, just like going to Jumanji or Baby's Day Out was like the biggest thing of my weekend. Just those 2 weekends specifically.
For us, it was Tropic Kids.
Okay.
I'm aging myself now because now, the island's only so big. So like things come and go.
Yeah.
So for us, it was Tropic Kids, which was like this like play center in a plaza that had like the bouncy stuff where you could like just go on a day adventure.
Or like
but like the big old things that have like the ball pit where you could like dive into it as a kid.
Yeah, ball pool like there's the like McDonald's Playhouse kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember. That was also exciting.
Yeah, so that was like the thing for like the Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm like, let me save up all my money because I want to get into Tropic Kids and I want to like use my own money to get there because I felt like a big girl.
And you don't want to leave. That's the thing.
Exactly.
As a child,
so I'm like,
it's
that was always, I was always negotiating my parents. Like I would hustle my parents. Like I would always make a negotiation somewhere. Yeah. I'm like, well, if I make my own money, then you can just leave me at Tropic Kids because I'm spending my own money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you leave me guys for the night? There was like this science fair. I grew up and I grew up in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Yeah.
And there was this thing called the Science Center or the Science Fair Center. I don't remember. I remember like my dad got us like a month subscription. So they had this like steep slide and they had all kinds of like things that you could do and cool stuff scientifically. Yeah. And it was like I was going there for like a month. My mom went to Egypt for like a month, and she took my brother. And my dad didn't want to get a babysitter, so he let us go to the science center, which was close to work. Yeah, and then it was next to his work, and he got us this monthly subscription
to just play all day.
Yeah, all day. Me and my sister, and I never got bored. I honestly, even it was the same things. It was the same things. I didn't care. I just was like,
I would live for the day when Saturday came. I was just like, okay, we got to do all our chores, then I got to watch Barney, and then I got to go.
Even going to like theme parks like Wonderland, or whatever, like Six Flags or whatever you had. That was like the most exciting thing for me. I went to Disneyland in the U.S. in California, Southern Anaheim, California, in the 90s. And I was like, that was an experience. That was honestly probably the best experience a child you could have.
Yeah.
Honestly, the day pass back then didn't get you like maybe 4 rides, like because you spend the whole day in lineups.
In the lines,
And there's like lineups that kind of like there's a lineup, and it's like, oh, your ride is gonna be done. Like you're gonna be going into the ride, and you kind of go from one hall to another. It's still a lineup.
But that's part of the fun too, because along the way you pick up some food or you pay like some of the little prizes on the side, and so you enjoy it on the line.
I think Disney have just done an amazing job entertaining people and
generation after generation.
They've just done, and now they're gone into the subscription model too with Disney Plus, and it's really like a good. You get Star Wars, you get Mandalorian, you get a lot of shows that people are interested in and things like that.
Yeah,
and I mean. And now I think being a child is even more, or being a kid is even more better because you get all kinds of technology in your life. But
I don't know. I guess, like if I'm a kid, yes, I love today because there's a lot of things to do. But our generation,
Yeah.
Like we have seen the transition of like what things used to be. And I feel like a lot of the innovation came from the fact that we didn't have all of this technology and all of the things that we were doing to create fun is what caused all of this innovation.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I love this new generation, don't get me wrong, because I feel like this generation, they are go-getters.
Yeah,
like they're not sitting down waiting for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and if they think that something, especially with these movements too, if they feel like something is wrong and unjust, oh my God, you should see them on social media. Like they come together.
Yep.
And I love this generation in that regard. Like they make my heart sing. Yeah. And there's so much ways to make your dream a reality now.
Yes.
But again, like I still feel like the old school way is like a little bit more fun because imagine
like a balance.
Yeah.
A balance. You could kind of like adjust to the new kind of like world.
But now because of COVID, like
COVID's
it makes
really slow things down. I mean, like I didn't appreciate like I just like even watching like soccer games. I used to go down to watch a hockey game or soccer game. Whenever I was able to get tickets to any event downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
And I just remember I just missed the stadium. I missed the people singing, chanting. It was so nice. That was a surreal experience. Anything with the sense of like people having fun is usually a good experience.
Yeah.
Now I think it's going to be a struggle going back to a stadium.
I feel like the first time you go to a stadium
or
you're going to have
a
ton of anxiety.
Yes.
You're probably going to have to call your therapist on the way there, on the way back, because you're going to be worried about too many things than fun.
And just not seeing people for like a year and all of a sudden being crapped up in a stadium. But I think it's going to, like even now, like when we watch past games, like from like 3, maybe 10, 15 years, just the amount of people cheering. And it's like, wow, it's weird. Even like when you watch movies or TV
and you see them hug and you're like, what date is this?
Wow. Yeah. What date is this?
Have to remind yourself that this was pre-2020 when it wasn't illegal to hug somebody.
Or people shake hands even in business meetings. They don't do that as much anymore. And
safety first.
I think it's changing. I think it's changing. We're changing and we're going to adapt. And I think a lot of businesses will have to adapt and adjust. And I know as hard as it is, but everybody's got that struggle. Everybody has a struggle. Everybody has some sort of challenge. And it's never just going to be like, boop, I'm successful. No.
Yeah, no.
It's not a magic wand that you run. It's not
unless you do become viral and know how to convert that into some sales. Then
revenue. And I think
you can.
You can.
It's not doable.
No,
like
it's
people
not
do it every day.
But it's all about content, and I think that's the most important thing.
And I think what people don't see behind the scene when people just see somebody go viral, the level of consistency before that though.
Yeah.
It's not like you just put out one picture and it went viral, which could happen, but I'm just saying like you still have to follow that up with something, or you should have been putting something in before so that
like
somebody can have something
the guy
to follow.
that did that video with the cranberry juice on a skateboard. His video went viral and he got, I think it was Face Dog or Dog Face, something like that, his name. And it went viral, but it kind of like changed his life, right? And I'm happy I'm very happy because he kind of
So he got a bunch of like ads and sponsorships.
He got a bunch of ads. He started going on podcasts why he made that video. And it was a very simple video. It was a very simple video. You know, the guy seemed to have a lot of struggles prior to that video and kind of like things just went boom.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him because he tried to spread positivity using that video. And it did. And it went viral and people started copying it and everybody tags him and stuff. So I think, in a sense, a way, as social media is good, it's also bad.
That's with anything, right?
It can change people's lives in a good way. And it can change people's lives in a bad way. Like, I mean, it's caused a lot of mental illness. A lot of people compare themselves to the success gurus or the goats or whatever. But then, what I think people should just be realistic. You know what I mean? Don't like compare yourself to something.
But I feel like that's harder for like this generation who grew up in the social media age, though.
Yeah.
Like for us, like we knew life before it, right?
Yes.
And we're able to tell when somebody's put it on a front a little bit easier.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's so easy to be like I always think to myself, it's so easy to be successful in a frame.
Yeah.
Like in a picture or in a picture or in a video even. But it's not easy as what's behind the frame. It's not easy. Like when you see a couple that are happy in general, you're like, oh, they're so happy. People are like, oh, they're so happy. They're this, they're that, they're this, they're that. People don't understand really what the challenge of the marriage is. But people like that, yet those couple make it work for that picture.
And you know what, too? Coming on that kind of a topic, I feel like that's why today's kind of relationships may not last as long because people are so, it's like ADD for dating nowadays. Like, it's like, if you're not making me happy like all the time, I'm just going to go to somebody else. How about that?
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like,
because that's all they're seeing as a feed of like a happy couple, not realizing that she had to like curse him out like 10 ways to Sunday just to get him to in this pose. And he had to tell her no umpteen times because he ain't about to pose like that. But like, that's all part of a relationship too. That is a bit of happiness.
And knowing I think same with you and Smokers Digest. It's a relationship. You've put a lot into it.
Yes.
It's given you somehow something.
And knowing that the banter is necessary in order to get the glory.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not easy. It's not like, oh, Tafarrah is just like walking around, people are like, hey, can I get a picture with you? No, it's not like that. Even if
I'm not that kind
you
of
get
person.
to that, if you get to that someday, if you do get to
the
that
way my
someday,
anxiety is set up, no.
I think the anxiety came because of a lot of people just on screen time. That's what I think.
Probably.
A lot of screen time because I just see it on the train and I see it years and years and years.
Yeah.
Just going to work and coming back, and I see the amount of time people just spend on their cell phone.
Yeah.
Looking like.
I remember when I first moved to Toronto, and like
it wasn't like that.
It was a little bit.
It was a little bit.
Like I was used to like walking into an elevator, and I was used to saying good morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Small town girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, and like you'd have the weather talk in the elevator. That's where you get your weather forecast.
Yeah.
In the elevator.
Yes.
On the way to work, and then I did that here, and everybody looked up like, is she okay?
It's different.
It's different.
Maritimes is a completely different world. Alberta is a different world. Just the type of people. Maritimes people are just super nice. Nova Scotia, PEI, New Brunswick, or I forgot the last province. Oh my god, PEI. What was it? Nova Scotia, PEI.
Oh my God, we
New
are
Brunswick
not worthy.
and
Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yes, I love Newfoundland.
There you go.
I went to Newfoundland once with work in the past, like maybe 6 years ago, I think. That was an amazing time.
Oh, yeah?
I just loved it. It was
I just
so
wanted to go there
nice.
for their seafood, man. I heard that.
Seafood's good. Yeah. Seafood's good. And I think, and I spent like 4 days there, and it was so just different. It was very quiet.
Yeah.
It was quieter than Halifax. Halifax is already quiet.
Oh, I love Halifax.
Yeah, Halifax is going to be, like Halifax is probably my favorite city in Canada in general.
Yeah.
But Toronto is also another favorite city. I think like Toronto.
I feel like Toronto is great for hustle.
Great for hustle, great for kind of like changing, great. It kind of gives you a lot of the tough experiences. Like the toughest experiences I've had in Canada
was living in Toronto. Yes, I agree.
Just dealing on the day, dealing on a day to day. But yet, it's still the community is good.
Yeah.
Like I find community in general is good.
There's a support system for everything. Yeah,
there's a support system for everything, and I think it's I think the lockdown was handled pretty well in general. But I know it's it's kind of like a lot of businesses are not happy with it. I think the first lockdown went well, but I think the second one's kind of like tiring.
I think people just got cabin fever,
people just got tired of just being isolated and kind of like everything's just not socially or not able to engage with your friends. You're not able to like I think like 6-7 years ago or maybe 5 years ago, I went to like a top like roof party somewhere downtown Toronto at a club. It was so nice.
Yeah.
I did that in New York. I don't think that will be able to be done in the future, like with all the amount of people that are out there. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like.
No, me neither.
I just know that I need to brace myself for it and just be able to adapt to whatever change.
And keep Smokers Digest going.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. Because you don't want to be like that person who's just like, back in my day.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish things used to be the way they were. Like, it's with business. You have to keep pushing.
Yeah.
So you have to apply it to your
do you find that in the future things will change in terms of like laws and policies as as cannabis products get kind of more not
streamlined?
Frowned upon? Yeah. They will get streamlined eventually. Right?
Oh yeah.
I think if not, they are streamlined now.
Oh yeah.
But I think that things will change and it will be
There's
kind
still
of like
a lot of work to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
From you as an entrepreneur, or is it just from like everybody?
Everything. Me as a business owner, my business itself, functioning in this space and growing the business as policies are changing.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, coming back again, I had to start with the basics again, start fresh.
Yeah.
So, growing again to the point where I could bring more people on to help grow the business and have things be consistent, and then also being able to pivot into like different markets. not just like the Canadian market, but like, you know, markets abroad.
Yeah.
I'm originally from the Bahamas, born and raised.
Yeah.
You know, there are talks going on, and I feel like it's me in 2016 where I was like 2 years ahead.
Okay.
And I'm like now trying to pivot and learn.
If you pivot, would you pivot and kind of like become more like of a continental distributor down the line? Is that like what is your big dream?
My big dream, as little as this may sound, is I would love to have a cooking show.
A cooking show.
A cannabis cooking show.
Cannabis cooking show.
Yes,
sure.
Where I bring on people in the cannabis space and we you know, talk life, cannabis, and all things science and all things delicious.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, like I carry cookbooks in the new iteration of Smokers Digest.
Yeah.
There's Sedila Marley, who is Bob Marley's daughter.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg has a cookbook out.
Nice.
This lady named Stephanie Wah, she has the edibles cookbook, which is like the nice little desserts version of the cannabis meal cookbooks.
Okay.
But yeah, and then there are also like devices specifically for decarboxylating your cannabis and like infusing it into your like oil so that you can cook with.
Yeah.
So yeah, just all of that, showcasing all of that and trying to break the stigma one bit at a time.
Okay.
I would love to be able to do this in my home country.
Okay.
They're on the path as well. Like there are aromas, there's sips, you know, the talks are going on. So yeah, I would love to be a part of that and like, you know, pivoting the business into something
major.
Yeah.
Multimedia.
Yeah. Multimedia
like multimedia. And I mean, it's a good, I mean, I don't think we would have been able to have you maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
No, I wouldn't have come.
It would have been very like frowned upon. I think
I wouldn't have stepped out of my door.
I think, you know, having you today is really interesting because you kind of streamlined everything for us in a way where it's not easy to be a business owner yet alone, get into an industry that's just.
But it is fun though.
It is fun. Yeah. What do you like? How much? When you kind of make a sale, what was getting to your first sale like? That's kind of like
I called everybody.
You called everyone.
I called everyone. I'm like, oh my God. And then I remember one time my mom, she called me and she's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just on the way to the post office to drop off this box. It's like, a box of what? She's like, and I was like, oh, I got a customer. She's like, oh my God. Like it was a whole thing. It was like, oh, call so-and-so. Oh my God, you know, she got a sale. I made a big deal out of it. And then I tried to come back to my basics and like, humble myself. And I was like, because now I got to keep going. So I had to get the next customer and get the next 10 and the next 10 and the next 10. So,
and you kind of went into like 10 increments of 10. You're like, I want to get 10.
To be honest, yes, that's how I try to move. I try to do
in
increments of 10.
30 and then 40 and 50 and then whatever.
Because
base you have
again,
today.
It's coming back to being cost effective and buying in bulk and being able to still make a profit.
Well, you kind of need like what you need, especially with subscription base. It's kind of you need consistency.
Consistent numbers.
Consistent numbers. So
for
you
it
can
to be cost efficient.
To forecast at the same time. So you can't have like a month where you're like 3 sales and then the next month is 30. Then you kind of like don't have a variation where you kind of like produce or sell, right?
Yeah.
That's very hard. And other than that, like what do you like usually do other than business and having a career? What do you do for fun? What kind of shows do you enjoy? What kind of things do you like doing?
What kind of shows? Reality TV is my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Because the level of chaos and drama that's in these shows, I am not a dramatic person. No. I don't have a chaotic life.
Okay.
So outside of like what's going on in my head in terms of like trying to be creative and trying to pivot and trying to like put fires out for like my businesses.
Yeah.
I need to be like completely distracted in order to have a quiet mind, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So like all the things that goes on in reality TV, all the chaos, I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm always shocked.
Are you talking about like the guys that like rebuild homes or what? Like kind of.
No, that's too calm for me. That's too calm. I need like Real Housewives of Atlanta. I need, I need like all the drama.
You like the kind of things
because that doesn't happen in my real life.
Climax.
Yeah.
A dramatic climax.
And it has to happen within the 45 minutes that you want me to sit down. Like I need it every single time. I need my fix.
So when you okay, so you come home from work, Do you wind down on like that?
You know what? No.
No.
I
Okay.
go straight into like whatever idea I had the day for my side businesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes mostly like, so you're investing all your personal time, a lot of
like,
it.
yeah, if I'm going on the train, like I'm thinking about how I'm going to execute like the next mailing list, like how I'm going to structure the actual email. Like it's not like, I know my customers get like these emails and they're just like, oh, just email. Like the level of time it takes me to even research
and
the
detail
content
and
even the layout, because I'm looking at it like how you're going to see it on your cell phone, you know? Like if this doesn't flow properly into your next swipe up, like, you know what I mean? All of these things like requires thought, and I just think about how I'm going to execute them.
So you're kind of doing like, you're the CEO, you're the marketing, you're the branding,
sales, customer
service,
everything. That's what happens when you're a small business entrepreneur. And you have to know a little bit of everything.
And how does that, like, so do you feel like when you started is very different from today, from where you are today? Like from who you are, even who you are.
Yes. Like, okay, I heard this saying, I heard it from Greta, but Greta said this is from somebody else. She's an Australian girl who's really good at business. She says, if the first iteration of your product doesn't make you cringe, then you've launched too late. If it does, and this is my tweak, my remix of that saying, if it does make you cringe, that means you improved a great deal. Right? To see where you were and where you are now. Me as a person, yes, I have changed a lot. Like, I am not 25 anymore. Not to age myself, but I know I'm not 25 anymore. My first business, my first major business that I started was in a hair extension brand. I started when I was in Halifax, and that was many moons ago. And I think the success of that just made me feel like I was invincible. I'm just like, I can apply this model to this business and I'll be good to go. That was not the case. And so that was like a reality check for me, like a slap in the face, like you need to wake up and you need to like learn how to do different things in a different way.
What about taking initiative? Like when you take initiative to do something, you did mention at the start that you kind of like, you want to do something. You want to do it well, and you want to like kind of like master it.
Yes.
How does that, like, how does the thought process go into you when you kind of launch this?
I kind of obsessive.
Obsessive.
I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to like my ideas. Like one of my guy friends, he calls me like the idea person. He's like, I'll put money behind anything that you come up with, because he doesn't like, ideas aren't his thing. He doesn't know how to be creative. And for me, I'm just like, oh, I have this idea, and I become obsessive with seeing how I could execute it. So a part of my obsessive nature of like mentally planning out the next 6 months of my life and how I'm going to execute. I go on the computer and I start researching. I go to the libraries and I start researching. I go to like networking stuff where I call up people. Hey, X, Y, and Z, what do you think?
And you call people like just that are in the industry?
Either in my circle, just to get feedback to see if this is something that even sounds sensible. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, sometimes these things sound sensible. When I tell it to other people, they're like, no, try again. And that's fair, right? Because that's part of like,
but it's also like part of your social circle, right? What you're doing. You need to get feedback. And it'd be strange to call somebody strange and be like, hey, can I get some feedback? I don't know you. I don't know you, but I'm trying to get something out there.
And then too, somebody could just steal your idea too, right?
That's very, so it's kind of the world we live in now. It's very easy to steal ideas.
So I just research a whole lot. If it's something that's completely new, you obviously want to get a feeler out there. So if it just means building a front, like a landing page, and then having like an email plug-in to gather people's emails, and then you tell them via email like what's to be expected, and then getting their feedback from there, like that's valuable as well. While you're still in the plan and research, and like
when you send your surveys and you get the feedback from your customer base, usually, do you get like any ideas that you are that are kind of like can improve? Align.
That's the whole point of like doing stuff like that too, because you still need to give the customer what they want. Right. So in my little mind, I know that I want to give you X, Y, and Z. But if you're like, okay, for example, if I'm like, I want to give you like a black pencil, and if you're like, I like blues, but there's no such thing as a blue pencil on the market, I need to find out which one of the manufacturers are willing to like make blue pencils for me so that I could sell them to my customer because that's what my customers want.
What exactly?
You know what I mean? And
So
that's
you
what they're
go out
willing
of
to
your
pay
way.
for.
How many
Oh, yeah.
hours do you spend on your business?
Like the back end of like talking to other people?
No, like just in general. Like, so you come home. See, we all have 37.5 hours a week
Yeah.
for our employers in general, but like, or 40 to 44, whatever the hour.
Yeah.
What's the hours for Smokers Digest post
Okay. So I
your
have
day?
2 side businesses, right?
Okay, wow, you got more. Wow.
Yeah. So but this one's my like baby.
Yeah.
So she always gets the attention first.
Okay.
Which is also a challenge if you're like a serial entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Like how do you divvy up your time? Because we all have 24 hours in a day. How are you going to use them?
Yeah.
So of course there's my 9 to 5 or whenever I get home from that job.
Yeah.
And then whatever time I have left, until I get incredibly sleepy is what I devote
to
my business.
Oh, wow.
Especially if I'm launching something brand new.
Okay.
Like, but then once it's launched,
yeah,
and like, because I try to do things so it's just a click of a button. I try to get all my email marketing already prepared well in advance.
Okay.
So that it just triggers because I have them all on a timer.
Yeah.
So that it sends you every Friday.
Do you have like a Hootsuite? Because Hootsuite, they kind of like, it's a platform that manages when you want to post. And
No, I use.
You put all your Twitter account and Facebook, and if you want to post on all three,
I should probly do something.
I don't know if it does that for email or not, but it kind of started when I was doing my when we were back in Halifax. I think they started around 2009, 2010.
Yeah,
and it kind of became popular because that time there was no policies about what you can utilize time at if you work for a company.
Yeah,
there was a lot of like policies, HR policies specifically for a majority of companies about people consuming time on social media while at work, right? So this is a big thing, right? So the idea of Hootsuite came out probably around that time, so people don't go on social media while they're at work, but they can set Hootsuite to post as their kind of a way. And I think like that's what kind of like the email platform. I'm not sure what technologies are out there today for you.
Oh, there's so much.
So much.
Like even when you were asking about that improvement thing, that growth thing.
Yeah.
Not like back then it wasn't all this stuff.
No.
Where you could literally click and like plug in analytics to your website, or where you could plug in like the subscriptions, like the email subscription mail list. All of that stuff wasn't out there. Like now that I went into like the app store for the back end of like my platform, and the amount of apps that they offer you, I'm just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like some of them are even like offering the same thing. Like back then it was only like one reoccurring billing, like plugin, one da. And it's just so crazy to see like the evolution within like 5 years.
Yeah, it's evolved.
So just imagine what like next year is gonna look like given COVID and all like the innovative thoughts that people have had time or lack thereof.
Or even evolve. I think it's just evolving more and more and more. I think COVID kind of slowed things down and kind of slowed a lot of things down.
Yeah.
And we all took a pause. And yes, there was a lot of sad moments. There was a lot of scary moments. I think people feared a lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to be honest, I think it also gave us a lot of time to reflect. Like you reflected, I personally reflected. Everybody, I think that time, the first lockdown in March when it started, I think there was a lot. It was just weird. Toronto quiet was just weird.
Yeah.
It was super, super weird. You know what I mean?
It was a rough spot. Not only because of the lockdown and the COVID, but not to go too dark. But all of the Black Lives movements, Black Lives Matters movements, and like me being a Black person in a predominantly not white country, but Toronto is a melting pot of multicultural. So in that regard,
diversity,
right? In that regard, I don't want to speak for everybody because I feel like my Blackness is kind of different because I came from an island of majority Black. You know what I mean? Like I didn't experience racism until I moved
to Canada.
Yes. And it's not like I experienced it explicitly. It's just I became aware of racism,
you don't really know
and how it feels. Like I learned about it in school.
I
went to a private school and my Crazy enough, my history teacher was an Englishman.
Okay.
So I had a white Englishman teaching me my history
Okay.
on the island.
Yeah.
And I remember we came to a really weird topic in the curriculum where they were teaching us about the slave trade and how, the Bahamas was a part of that, and like what life was like on the ships. And I don't want to go too dark because that's still kind of traumatic to me to today. And I remember him, like he's a white Englishman, living, because we were a part of the
British. Were you a British colony?
We were a colony.
Back in the, same.
So by way of that, he was a teacher for our school, our country.
Yeah.
And I remember he had to step out of the classroom as well because it hit him that hard.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a weird feeling.
But here's the thing. Like I mean, and at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna. Racism exists.
Yeah.
It's not an easy world, anyways. But it's not. It all, like, I mean, at the end of the day, times have changed.
Yes.
Things have changed.
And in some
I can't
regard,
go back
not at all.
You can't. Yeah. In some parts, yeah. But you can't, like, it's not gonna like, it's changed. But and a lot of things don't fly today as they used to fly in the past. And I think we can't go back in times and kind of change the way the world was because this happened or that happened. Yes, it has affected people's lives and history and all that.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have gotten to where we are today as well.
Some of it didn't need to be.
Some of it didn't need to be. And you can say that when you're in the seat.
Yeah.
And when you were, if I had lived in that time and saw it, I could have said something or, advocated something, but I wasn't. And I don't mean, like, I don't want to get too political or people misunderstand me or anything like that. But I think things happened in the past and they did happen and they occurred anyways. But it was part of, like, that was the norm back in the world. Back then, and then I don't.
Because society made it the norm,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm coming back to, like, this generation. I love, like, this generation because, like I said, they don't put up with nothing.
Yeah,
like if they feel like that's a no go and is unjust to, like, whomever, like, they're gonna rally behind you, and I'm so happy for that, and I'm, like, super excited to see what, like, the next generation holds and what the future holds.
And the future will be bright. I think the future
is,
as much as we face a lot of challenges at the end, or I don't want to say the challenge. Challenges or things or problems or things. I think genuinely now we are at a stage where we have different types of challenges.
Yeah.
Like we're dealing with different types of problems, rather like all the problems that, let's say, we overcame over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of the damage that they're really, anything. So let's say social media was all about positivity, right? Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's about data collection, privacy invasion, things like that. I'm not really scared of it. Like, I'm not scared. I know they're collecting. I know they're listening. I know everything like that. But at the same time, as much as positive it's bought, as much also it's bought other negative parts. And if you watch the movie The Social Network, you'll kind of understand all the engineering that's behind it and all the psychology behind it. That's fine. I mean, I'm okay with it. As long as it's moderation for me, I'm fine. I'm not I'm not active. I'm not a person that posts all the time or anything like that. But what I'm trying to do with Career Curiosity in general is I'm trying to make a platform that people come and discuss their careers and what they've seen. And obviously, given that you've been having Smokers Digest for a long time and that you came to the market prior to the market actually opening up.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a leader in that sense.
Oh, I don't want to be...
You're not
that braggadocious.
No, you don't have to, but you kind of become like, it's like technology, right? There was like a lot of search engines back in the day when I was in high school, at least in the early 2000s, 98, 2000s. I used to go on Yahoo. I used to go on ask.com, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, and then Google came out and Google
and
kind
it became
like
an adjective and an adverb.
Because Google, what they did was they rebuilt the algorithm altogether. So their search algorithm wasn't just about having words in your page and it kind of found the result. It was kind of a certain algorithm that really dealt with like what's influence, what's popular, what do they mean if they write that, what do they mean? And that kind of evolved. And that's kind of the reason why we're here today.
Yeah.
Like we are here because of evolution. So we're just coming to the end of the show and end of our episode, but I just like to thank you so much for coming out. What's the website? So just to give it out, just Smokers Digest.
It is www.SmokersDigest.Ca. Canadian company. Yeah.
Yes, Canadian.
And I'm very, very proud of you. I'm so happy that you're doing something like this and using your platform. I always tell you have the voice of a radio host, not of an angel, of a radio host.
Radio host. And I talk a lot, and I wanted to go this two things. I want to improve my listening, so that's one big thing. Honestly.
I'm just joking.
No, I want to improve my listening.
Oh, and I got you a gift, by the way.
Thank you. And I want to improve my listening, and I really want to just talk to people and kind of like, because honestly, the reason I'm starting this whole thing is I came to Canada 13, 12.
I feel like it was longer than that,
13 years ago. 13 years. Yeah, 13 years ago I came.
Wow.
I was probably 21. Now I'm 35. So probably 21,
It would be
22.
a little bit more than 13 if you do your maths.
Well, it's what? No, 2007, 13 years. But I would have been turning 22. Like,
I
would have been 22 when I arrived. Yeah. So yeah, it's 30. And I turned 35 like 2 months ago. So it's 34.
Oh, wow.
According to 2020. No, but really, like, honestly, like, you know, and the whole reason was because I came here, I kind of like finished university, got a job, and never really got any advice where to go, how to do. And I don't know if there was
small
like
town too, though.
Yeah, we were in a small town, but still, you can kind of like now. I just see so much data out there and so much, but I think it's so much information. Also, we kind of want to make it like more entertaining.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So. We want to have host people. We want them to talk about their challenges of running a business like yourself, or their careers, even if they're allowed to speak.
I'm one too. I'm not selfish on like information.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you have one life to live, and when I'm gone, I can't take this information with me.
No.
So like a lot of my friends in my circle too, I think too. Your circle is important.
Yeah,
surrounding yourself with like go-getters too. If you are a go-getter, it's great.
Well, go-getters, also surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
Not go-getters that will just go get and run you over kind of
right,
thing.
Right. And that's what my circle is. So like whenever they're starting something, they ask me a question. They're like, hey, how did you do this, that, and next? I'm not going to be like, your competition. I'm not going to tell you. No, like, it's information, and knowledge is power, and information is how you get it.
And I think now we're just in an open world where everything's just like available to you. If you go on the internet, if you actually have access to the internet, you have access to a lot of information that's out there. And it's kind of like, and I kind of didn't find anybody, like, you don't go on YouTube and kind of people talk about their careers and stuff like that. And I kind of like find LinkedIn. It's very important, but the 9 months that I spent not working, it was tough. It was really tough.
Yeah.
It was so tough that like I look at it now and I kind of like smile and laugh about it. It was a tough moment, but it was so tough because I didn't know who to contact. Who should I call?
Yeah.
Tried to contact people that I knew from other companies or something. Nothing really welded at the time when I was contacting my ex-peers or people that I knew in the industry and things like that. And the challenge for me that I didn't have enough information as well. And that's what I'm trying to do with Career Curiosity, is bring people like yourselves who are passionate and desire. They have so much desire. And you didn't give up. The thing is, you never gave up.
My goodness.
Going to the hospital, I would have been like, hey, white flag right here. I'm done. I am done. I'm not going through this anymore.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. You know, when you're going through these challenging times, you're like, what is it all for?
Yeah.
And now that I'm sitting here, I'm feeling like I'm having an aha moment. Like maybe that was just to teach somebody or to help somebody like go through their little challenge. Like I'm very open. Like if people want to contact me via email and with their questions, like how to get over something, like by all means, like I'm willing to give information.
Yeah.
Or my experiences to help you with your situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And speaking of that, like you said, like business books don't tell you, oh, if you go through that. No. Or this, or the internet. I don't know if it does. Like maybe Reddit or some of the. Like,
the forums,
yeah, forums. You might get some like very valuable information, and I'm sure there are forums out there that really help people a lot. But I think the having the face to face, and talking, and
not even that, just knowing that somebody else is experiencing stuff. Because when you're in that moment, you feel like you're all alone. Yeah, as much people as could exist on this world, you feel like only you're going through that.
Yeah, exactly.
So just even for me, a big thing for me was guidance. Like I just always felt like I needed because like, you know, we're immigrants here.
Yes, we
You know
are.
what I mean? Like we don't have our family to be like, oh yeah, do X, Y, and Z, or let me put you in touch with so and so to tell you like you should do this or you should go here or whatever. So for me, it was just always like bucking my toe and then saying ouch and then trying to figure out how to heal that wound.
Yeah.
So in my circle, like we became like our go-to people.
Okay.
Because we're immigrants and a lot of things that we're, not to make it seem like we're only facing like these challenges, but like our challenge would be unique in that regard because we don't have like mommy and daddy here who has their friends who are connected,
or families in general,
right?
Just,
So we had to connect ourselves like through our own little circle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the kind of way we found each other as friends. Even like it was through people from your work that knew me. Kind of made us sit at a table and have dinner.
Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, that was so funny. That was so funny that day.
Wow.
You're the only one laughing at the back of the table.
I love laughing, but
you probably had not seen someone that or maybe you're going
I'm like, this guy's crazy. It was just like, it was a table of working professionals
like 12
having
people?
dinner.
That was a big, that's an anti-COVID table.
Yeah, and you were just like this guy. We were sitting at what do you call those little booths? Those circle booths.
Yeah,
and you had the circle of the booth, and you're just like,
wasn't it like for two people getting married? That I don't remember. I just remember it was like a work.
I don't even remember, to be honest.
They were getting married or they're newly married, and you guys wanted to congratulate them, and it was kind of like a Seinfeld episode, the dinner or something, and we all just sat there
because we used to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
so probably
it was the 20s. You're just so curious in your 20s. You want to go meet people and see people. Oh, you're going out to a party. I'm coming.
And here
I am coming.
Everybody's like all professional and eating their food all politely. And here comes this guy, like who seems like he's from an Italian movie, just with his hand back, his hair all like swept back. He's like, I'm about. What's your life about?
I was 25.
Yeah.
I was 25. So you're what is it? Yeah, it's almost 10 years ago. 9 years ago. I was 25, and I was curious. I wanted to meet people.
Yeah.
And Halifax was a perfect spot to start a career, actually.
Yeah.
And go to school even. I went to school in Nova Scotia, and it was a great experience, honestly. Because you don't get the rough life here.
Right.
Because I could never. Yeah. I would honestly speak, if I didn't go to Nova Scotia first coming into Canada, I don't think I would have passed school. There's no way with all this action happening in Toronto in 2007.
You know what? That's why I chose Halifax. So yeah, I think you're right.
Wonderland, and you got all these distractions. Yeah. There's no way.
Coming from a small town where I was coming from, I don't think I would have been able to survive. That's why I chose Halifax.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was
we actually chose Cape Breton.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yes.
We went to Cape Breton University. Yeah, so me and a group of people from the same country, Egypt, and we all went to school. And there's a lot of them that I'm still in touch with today in Toronto or the GTA. Sam, I'm sure you too. I remember your two friends that used to be in Halifax. What was this thing called? Scotia Square.
Scotia Square. We're all still friends.
They were, you still see them? I miss those guys.
I feel like everybody moves to Toronto.
I think so too. I think a lot.
Either or the West Coast.
Yeah. I moved. I did the West Coast move. I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Nothing against the people there or anything. It wasn't for me. It's like it's either like in Canada. I think you like East or West.
Yeah.
And it's been. I had a great experience out east in Halifax, and I had some of my horrible experiences in Toronto. But for Alberta wasn't really for me. I kind of found really way too cold.
Oh, okay.
Different. It's just very different. So we're out of time.
Yeah.
We want to thank you so much. And keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Hopefully we can get more people on here.
Well, I think you're onto something here.
Hopefully. I just need to carry it on.
Yeah.
And
be consistent.
Be consistent. That's it.
If you don't take nothing else I said, be consistent. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Right. And we hope to see you in the next episode, hopefully. And I'd like to thank our studio producer, Scott, and Get a Grip Studios.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We've had a really wonderful episode. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.